So this is the New York street scene. This is the one that was done before I went to Rome, and was done over an big abstract scene. But I was influenced, and I was whatever you see in this painting was meant to be. I mean, all the influences were there. Degas was there, and Piero is very strong. The circular window over there is a reference to the fresco in Rimini.
What was the process?
What was the process?
I mean, from photographs or...
I made it all up. There isn't anything there from any drawing from life. I may have made some drawings, but they were not from life. The black fellow in the middle there was not in the painting. I was trying to get a figure to kind of fall off the curve into the center. There were bunches of drawings of that figure, but I never could make it work. And one day I was looking through some drawings I had made, and I had made a drawing of this figure. And I looked and I said, my God, that's what I should do. And it's very reminiscent of the Annunciation, the angel coming into the Annunciation, right? He kind of light, he's very light on his knees, you know. I think it's sort of this. Excuse me?
Angelico.
There's only one Annunciation. That's really funny. You mean which painting? I think that's worth. I don't know. They're all alike. They're all very much alike, you know, and they're all wonderful. The Italians never missed on the Annunciation. Next. This is Madison, Maine. This was in 64, 65, actually, where there's a match factory up there. And, it was not finished painting, but I liked it. A very white sky, and it was done in a day, and I didn't feel I did another day quite like that, so I never went back to it. But this is all water down here, and these logs are chained together, and they steer the other wood into the factory to make the matches. Next. This is the same thing, actually. This is not on paper. What size is this? This is very small. Like this. I think it's a short cardboard. Probably cut down a little bit. I think any paper is okay as long as you seal it. So that the area is good. The gallery had, this is a Graham gallery, decided to have a show of flower paintings, and I did this one. Now this is a problem that is useful for people. I think Dee and I were talking about this today. This kind of thing. Here's a white room with a window in it, and a pie plate. These are all whites. You know, where's the white that is the one that you measure with, and it's on the pie plate. But the window is very important, and the relationship of what's in the window to the wall. This is Vermont. Next. This was done at Tanglewood, 1968, and it was was teaching for Boston University. They had a summer program that year, and this was one of the students posing for us. And I was very interested, and I kept flirting in and out with Matisse. And this is a very Matisse-like setup. That's a small little picture, by the way. Experimenting with space going off the bottom of the story. This is a kind of a Bois de Bologna of Matisse, kind of that interior woodland picture that he painted very heavily. So there's a lot of talent in this. Well, I never actually finished the other painting, so when we moved to Brooklyn, we found that the model lived a block away, so we started again with the same thing, with the mirror and the standing behind, and this was done. It's a bigger painting, actually, and I never could get this perspective right on that table. This was something done at our students' week with my class, and we stopped because, again, it got very dark, so dark we couldn't paint, so I stopped in the middle of the afternoon. So this way. But I had in my mind trying to paint something that Leland Bell might like. Every once in a while I would do that. But it didn't do any good. Next. About the first painting, I've done of two objects. Maybe not. The third. Later on, especially thinking of letting them, the two objects comment on each other in some oblique way. There's nothing in this except they're both shells, like. And this is an ancient cup that came back from Rome with. It's a little brighter than this. The color is a little bit dull. It seems to me. So this is Hartswell up in Maine. This is much later. I found a place up in near Brunswick, and I used to drive over here to paint. And there was that green house. That intrigued me. That green house. I guess I like green. You might have to go back.
Yeah, exactly.
What was that?
Nothing.
You want to see that again?
Yeah.
What size? Oh, it's like this. Yeah. It's not big. I never paint landscape very large.
Why not?
Because I like it more or less light size. I don't like to. I mean, it's not sight size, but you feel comfortable with it. And the paint works best on a scale now. I think like Baltus paints some big landscapes, but it becomes a surface thing. The surface becomes very complex and festival-like. Heavy. It must be mine. Oh yeah, I don't know what it's doing here, but this is a house. These are friends of mine. They had this house. They just passed away, and they had sold this house. And in summer of '64, I lived over on the other side, and I used to walk across the street. This is a little painting. Well, maybe 10 or 11 inches long, right? And the paper brought into the picture. You notice it's over there. Tangents with the edge. The drive holes were just great. It's very refined, this picture. So I'm almost embarrassed that I got to be so refined when I see it. I know the people who own it, and I kind of wonder about myself how I got that way. This is a roll that was probably a couple years old by that time. It was very interesting because the inside of the roll collapsed. So it was like a very fine, very delicate object that when you touched it, it would make a black hole. There was nothing in there. Whatever was inside had settled down to the bottom, I guess, and it was powdered. But I like that form, and that's why I kept it and painted it so much. I like that, whatever it's an Italian roll of some sort. I kept it as long as I could. Next. These Prospect Park, Brooklyn. The little refreshment stand is gone. I wanted to have a jogger running, but next. This is the early stage of a portrait of Leonard Petrillo, and I think it's probably the best that the painting. Later on, there will be slides of it as when it was finished, but I have a feeling that the transparency of the paint and the jacket is much better. He wanted me to paint. He wanted to know how I would go about painting hair, and so he had all this hair. So I just said, he had done some work for me, and I said, okay, I'll trade you the work for a painting. And I go, this beard. Leonard decided I should have details of this. I didn't ask him for it, but this is the way that it worked out. And, maybe there's a couple more. There's some slides of it, the finished state. I don't know what he was thinking of. When I came back from Rome, I was thinking of another street scene, and this was the subject of the Medea. And a few years later, I got into it. But I didn't do it then because I started to go out and paint landscapes up in Massachusetts, and I wanted to paint from observation. So I put aside the big figurative things. But this is the best. This is better than the paint, the big thing by far. It's got light in it. Next. Yeah, this is the figure this is a drawing for a figure in the Medea, the big Medea painting, which I call St. Mark's Place. And I have a tendency to hang on to pictures forever, trying to get them right. And this one I had worked for a couple of years trying to paint this figure that was hanging off the street post on an angle. And I had a mirror and I had a little canvas stretcher nailed to the door. And I would hang off the canvas stretcher and look at the mirror. And then I'd run over and try to paint. And that went on for a year and a half or something like that. And one day I was doing that, and I thought, what would happen if I gridded the mirror and then gridded a piece of paper and crossed the lines where I crossed the lines on the mirror? And that's what happened. Like in 10 minutes I had the whole figure. This is quite it's a large painting. I don't know, it must be 90 inches high. Kind of Italian